Okay, this is Gara Gayn. Yo, this is Gara Gayn. We just left the cookie world of fashion and trended to the international P. We're here with you today with another read from St. John New Building Kid, the age of the Kraken. Last week or yesterday, we stopped at Travel Fox when we was with G Light and understanding his sojourn in Valhalla, his sojourn coming to Middletown. Now we going a little step further. So bear with me while I get things situated. This chapter is called The Wild Wild West. And for that occasion, I threw on, I threw on the Jay Lindbergh with the Chanel, the Raven Feather, the Chanel bros. I got got the Louis Gambler chain on because it fit. When you in the West, but you going into a saloon, right? But they doing the saloon, they gambling. There's the Louis Gambler chain. I got the Gucci leather on with the Andulmeister vest on with the penguin tail on the back. And I got the Gucci equestrian horse riding jeans. And I got I had to put these on, right? Let me tell you something. A lot of you dudes never been in the Continental Spur. And I ain't talking about the Lincoln Continental either. I'm talking about a Bentley Continental Spur. Huh? With dubs, that's dub rims, sport rims, 20s. Not no off market. I'm talking about the actual rims, sport rims from Bentley, the manufacturer, dubs. Sitting on dubs, pulling up to Bentley. Go to the Bentley, go to the Bentley spot up in the city in the 50s. Go in there and see the elephant that they all signed. Go see the marble stone they all signed when it first opened. You gonna see Gara Gayn up in there. You know what I mean? I pulled up in the Continental Spur with the champagne charcoal gray sparkling paint job. One of a kind. We ain't gonna see it again. You know what I mean? But a lot of you dudes ain't never been that way. Never been in that big boat. But check it out though. To drive in a Bentley Spur, you awarded your spurs. You see that? Yeah, you water your spurs. These are the John Bavados, and these are your spurs. Know what I mean? To push them horsepowers. Know what I mean? But let's get to this read. Let's get to this read. Let's get to this read. Let's not procrastinate. Let's get forward. Let's get to this read. Know what I mean? Let's get to this read. St. John New Building Kids. The age of the cracking. Let's get it cracking. Here we go, y'all. Woo! All right, chapter 3. Chapter 3. The Wild Wild West. The Thanksgiving holiday had come and gone, leaving behind the warm memories of their festival meal. July had realized in the feast, consuming everything on offer except for the ham. The turkey and the cornbread had been particular highlights. Their dessert table had been incomplete without a sweet potato pie, but the apple pie still held its own. As full bellies ignited conversation long into the night, the room was filled with laughter and stories from days past. The arrival of Christmas brought a change in the atmosphere. The boys in the group home shed their usual tough exterior, replacing it with seasonal cheerfulness. G Light, however, opted to maintain his regular demeanor, focused more on earning additional points by doing extra chores. He didn't interact much with the other kids. Their conversation never seemed to hold his interest. Instead, he often found himself seated with the older staff members, keen to absorb any wisdom they had to offer. If they ran out of jewels, as he liked to call them, he wouldn't even bother engaging in conversation. The new year, 1989, brought with it a sense of renewal and anticipation of his first home visit for the weekend. January's chilly weather prompted him to purchase a ski jacket from the local mall Always conscious of his style, he also picked up a Reebok rain suit and a pair of silver Adidas with the watch embedded in the tongue. This would be his coming home scout fit, an ensemble as unique as the man himself. The brisk city air and the bustling streets of 42nd welcomed G Light as he ventured out with Tisha in danger. The trio shared a quick bite on the deuce before making their way towards the Johns. Back at his place, the weekend passed in a blissful blur. G Light and Tisha barricaded themselves within the confines of his room, avoiding any unnecessary ventures out, even to the convenience store. It was as if Tisha had claimed him as her captive, diligently guarding the door to deny visitors entry. Indian, his frequent visitor, wasn't spared either. Their sanctuary was a world of love, intimacy, and plentiful Chinese takeout. It was a sweet seclusion, an intimate timeout from the world. As the weekend dwindled, they journeyed back to the Port Authority, sealing their parting with a tender kiss. They said their goodbyes amidst the thrumming rhythm of the city. The farewell carried a peculiar sweetness and its inexplicable warmth. Delight promised Tisha he'd be home by March. Granted, good behavior prevailed. In his hands, he held a new radio Walkman, her mixtape echoing through his ears as he journeyed back to Middletown. The compelling tunes of her carefully outrated, I mean, curated mixtapes filled the void of her absence. As he walked through the doors of his home that Sunday evening, he was greeted by a hushed surprise. Puzzled, G like question, "What's with y'all?" The answer was stark, yet unspoken. Carl Tucker had also gone on a home visit, but his bed sat untouched, as pristine as they left it on Friday morning. Yo, Carl Tucker didn't stick around. He chose to make a run for it instead. It was as if he had a revelation that nobody really ever comes back from these home visits. Earl had once mentioned in passing that the return usually doesn't materialize until they're handcuffed once more. But July was different. He had a mere 3 months left in his sentence. 2 weeks since his visit, July found himself summoned into Charles' office. The news brought a curious anticipation. They were releasing him on a 2 week pass. July accepted the news with a nonchalant okay. That very week marked a grand event in Pleasantville, where the girls were from our hometown. We were the boys. The night was alive with competition as every guy tried to outshine the other with their attire. Delight was no exception. His newly acquired Air Max Bubbles complemented his fresh off the rack Michael Jordan windbreaker suit. His gold two-finger ring and three gold fronts added the final touch to his outfit. Time seemed to fly after that night. Before he knew it, Gelight was on board a bus heading home. He had kept the news of his early return from Tisha. His plan was to meet up with Indian first, then spring the surprise on her. Hitting the streets, Gelight now had two had 2 weeks of freedom to relish. His first stop, Indian's place. Indian led him into a private room where he revealed a shoebox. Inside was an impressive stack of cash, which Indian handed over to G Light without a second thought. Then he placed a sleek rope chain in G Light's hand, compact, refined, and finished off with a dollar bill pendant. It was a token of respect. Indian offered G Light a joint next, but G Light turned it down. He wasn't ready to risk a positive test back at the group home. They hung out for a bit, Indian sharing the latest word on the street, the hood politics, and the lucrative opportunities that awaited them. With a pointed look at the chain, he declared, "You're G Money now." G Money just laughed. Another name change. This was before the movie New Jack City gained popularity. He advised they wait for danger to give them the green light. G Money admitted he had to lay low until he was officially home, planning on staying indoors to relax, fool around, binge on HBO all day, a luxury provided by dad. Indian rummaged under his bed and produced a fully loaded 22 snub nose revolver. Handed it over to G Money. "We on guard, G. Them dudes up the block eyeing our spot. Cypress Project boys or some such. Shit could go south real quick," he warned. "Who them?" G Money asked. Indian shrugged. "Don't know him, but by name, but danger does. Each one of them." His intention shifted, a sense of urgency in his voice. "And get this, school from Lincoln, Arthur's little brother, is working for them against our advice. Man, plus keep an eye on that two-faced Terrence. Heard he's playing both sides." Indian's words weighed heavily in the room. Terrence, light-skinned guy who kept trying his luck with the twins, had come into some money recently. Jermaine took it all in, his surprise evident. Everyone knew Tisha was off limits. They had been together for years. Even the guys from the neighborhood respected their bond. "So that's the game they're playing, huh?" G Money muttered. G Money muttered. It felt like a page out of history, reminding him of ancient warfare strategies like the Romans descending onto Anupan lands in Africa. The enemy tribe would first besiege the men before claiming their women. The hood drama unfolded before him reminded hood the hood drama unfolding before him reminded G Money of the biblical tale of King David, who desired Bathsheba, the wife of his loyal soldier Uriah. David, in his lust, set up Uriah to be killed, a not so hidden trap, reminding G Money of the snares set by the enemy to kill off their male population, just like in the olden days. He recalled the wars waged by Mosa, or Moses, that changed the complexion of the land from Iraq through the Arabian Peninsula. The once dark-skinned inhabitants fed into a light-skinned Arab or Semitic peoples of present day, long before the Berbers of so-called Northeast Africa. There was a legendary hero, Zulkarnain, spoken of in the Holy Quran, Surah 18, the cave, verse 92. G Money believed there were lessons to be learned from these ancient chapters of history. Nonetheless, shaking off the heavy thoughts, G Money decided to lighten his mood. He called Tisha, his longtime sweetheart, inviting her to spend the night. Her excitement was palpable as she hurried over. The reunion was warm, filled with endless hugs and kisses. "Why didn't you tell me you was on a home visit?" she asked. Her voice, a blend of astonishment and delight. He skillfully evaded the question, a wire smile on his face. Tisha gave him the all too familiar stare, hands on her bow-legged hips, looking both annoyed and enticing. With a swift move, G Money turned on the stereo. The familiar tunes from the mixtapes she had gifted him filled the room. Wrapping his arms around her waist, he pulled her close for a slow dance, nibbling on her neck. The sly fox has successfully changed the topic. The first week G Money was home sped by in the blink of an eye. Every moment consumed by the passion of lovemaking with Tisha. Their bodies entwined. They lost themselves in each other. The world outside becoming a distant reality. But one afternoon, as G Money waited for Tisha, he noticed something unusual activity from his window. It was Terrence being gassed up by that fool Malik to make a move on his girl. Anger swelled in G Money like a volcano in the Pacific, ready to erupt at any moment. Without a second thought, he took flight down the stairs, his heart pounding in his chest. As he reached the gate of the building entrance, he saw Malik trying to play slick, engaging in small talk with the unsuspecting Terrence. On seeing G Money, Malik played dumb, probably thinking that his boys, Drac and Malik, would back him up. But G Money was a man of action, not words. As he got closer, he saw Tisha's eyes widen in anticipation. Terrence turned around to see what was happening, and his grin died when G Money fish smashed into his face. Terrence had forgotten that it was G Money who had sliced open his wrists with the orange box cutter. Dazed by the first punch, Terrence couldn't fight back as G Money grabbed him by the calf muscles and slammed him onto the concrete. Holding him down, G Money started welling on him like King Kong. The dudes across the street just stood there laughing at Terrence's predicament, but didn't make any move to intervene. G Money made sure Terrence wouldn't forget this lesson anytime soon. In a blind rage, G Money lost himself, forgetting about the home visit status that tethered him to a semblance of sanity. His memory of who pulled him away from Terrence's bloody form, a mere tatter of his former self, was a foggy blur. He hadn't spoken a word through it all. His fists were his voice. They'd spoken volumes. The next day, G Money strutted down the same path, a purposeful challenge in his gait. He was daring them to utter a word, to provoke him. Only school had the guts to acknowledge him. With a simple, "What's up, G? You home?" G Money responded with a curt nod and then walked to the corner, swung back around the block to post up on Danger's Stoop at 1284. As G Money settled in, Poison whispered words of caution into his ear. "G, they're pushing the wrong buttons." G Money minds cast back to when Poison had warned him about Tangela, his ex-girlfriend, who now rode shotgun in the Audi 3000 with the light-skinned dude. She was all about the dudes from the East these days. She was trying to belittle them, to make the men from the block feel like children. G Money scoffed at the thought. She was out of her damn mind if she thought they'd put up with such disrespect. No one from Albany houses is welcome on our block, G Money murmured under his breath. The question that lingered now was, how long would it be before they ran these intruders off their turf? In a world where chaos was the order of the day, guys like Ernest Bourne stood out like a sore thumb. You see, if Bourne hadn't been token on that crack pipe, none of this bull would have gone down. Hell, even Bourne's older cousin was messed up, caught in the crushing tentacles of that beast known as the Kraken. Poor little Charles and Trevor. They had it worse, their lives hanging in the balance amidst a storm of relentless addiction. Silently, almost imperceptibly, the winds of change began to blow through the streets. Just when G Money was packing up to return to the group home, the phone rang. A familiar deep voice resonated on the other line. "Brother Charles." The words she spoke were a complete surprise. G Money didn't have to go back. He must have asked, "What?" a dozen times, unable to believe his ears. He was going to be released to probation. Brother Charles wished him luck, gave him a number to call on Monday morning for his next steps, and then hung up. A wave of relief washed over G Money. His possessions from the group home, just a humble collection of comic books he'd won in spades, and a stash of Lever 2000 soap, were to be mailed to him. The news didn't sit well with everyone, though. G Money's crack addicted uncle was steaming. He was not thrilled about G Money's homecoming. It meant an end to his free reign, his late night partying and shooting up in G Money's room. The sanctuary he created in G Money's absence was no longer his. Stay out of my room, G Money barked, the tone of authority clearing his voice. I'm back, bitch. It was a nondescript weekday when Tisha, who had skipped school, made her way to G Money's house. The real action started when Poison knocked on G Money's door before heading up to the roof, his voice carrying a serious tone as he declared it's on in street lingo. That was their cue to get ready, to gear up for whatever was about to go down. Tisha instinctively stepped back from the window. G Money never wanted to back down from a fight, pulled out his trusty 22 revolver. He leaned out the window, his eyes cold and focused, and waited. The block had been eerily calm a couple of hours before, but that calm was shattered where Born, flashing his gold teeth, led a few guys down the hill. When they returned, they were lugging a bag filled with ratchets. Rusty had a piece now, as did Danger, with Poison on the roof, armed with the 357. Indian somewhere out of sight, but still in the mix. They had the block covered. Tobo held down his side like a fortress. Malik and Drake, assuming that was really him, held court in the middle of the street, mouthing off as like they to do, like to do, as they like to do. Then it happened. The sound of a single gunshot ripped through the air, and all hell broke loose. The entire block transformed into a scene straight out of a Western high noon showdown where everything and everyone was a potential target. Guns were blazing. Poison was on the roof, letting shots off, while G Money fired from his window. His 2-2 revolver sounding like a tiny pop gun against the symphony of gunfire, and the laughter that usually filled the air was replaced with sounds of chaos. As the dust settled and the echoes of gunshots faded, the doleful count of casualties began. The precise number of those wounded was unclear, but miraculously, no lives were lost in this storm of bullets. Among our own, only young Pedro, an onlooking spectator found from our block, and a Puerto Rican teenager laid wounded. G Money remained in his post at the window, a sentinel watching the enemies flee the block, never to return. This was just one of our epic Western style encounters, each played out like an episode with rotating stars. On one occasion, it was Frankie Boo and Tweety, also known as Truth, with the chaos unfolding at a breakneck pace. Tweety was there, gun ablaze, holding the line. At another time, it was Tweety backed by a different set of block hitters. The entire block took turns as a firing squad standing against those dudes from East New York. They certainly hadn't foreseen an entire block shootout. Those guys, as fate would have it, later formed a rap group named M.O.P., signed by none other than Jay-Z under Def Jam on Rockefeller Records. The path we trod was jagged indeed, with every step ablaze with power and respect. The irony wasn't lost when we bumped heads again at Jones Beach in 1999, or was it the year 2000? The block was turned on its head after the shootout. A veritable bonanza of chaos and gunfire. In the following weeks, Tweety, aka Truth, returned home to the joy of Boo Boo's younger brother, Little Charles, elder brother. Little Charles was ecstatic. He started getting cocky. You could guess it was not his time to don the bad boy mantle. With Truth's return, he seized the spotlight, and soon enough, other OGs like Vonda, also known as Burr and Frankie, a dark-skinned kid, a skinny, dark-skinned fellow, started showing up. Frankie was a force to be reckoned with, even worse than Shakim and Frankie Boo, combined at that time in the early stages of 1989. Danger had their sights beyond the block. They had a connection who went by the name of Travel Fox, the man who was Indian's plug. This duo had established a lucrative relationship with a Jewish dealer named Moshe, a man they had blessed in their own unique way. Moshe was no ordinary hooker. He could provide any car they desired, complete with insurance and dealer plates. There was one individual who stood out in this urban jungle, a man named Mata, shrewd and wise, yet swift in his business dealings. Much of G Money's approach to his business was inspired by observing Mata's operation. Mata didn't look at business in the same way others. He had a military or general like perspective on it. His ill-gotten gains were not squandered on women or narcotics, and he didn't splurge on high-priced clothes either. Mata had his own unique style, always sporting his traditional Kango, not like LL Cool J wore, but the one like Kango Kid from UTFO. He was always seen in slacks, linen button-ups, and of course, different styles of Charles Fox shoes. Hence, the alias Charles Fox sound. His ride of choice was a pristine all-white '88 Nissan Maxima, but his real wealth was evident in the three buildings he owned, ensuring that none of his people would ever be left without a roof over their heads. In the heart of our operation, Danger was the mastermind, the brainchild. He orchestrated our movements, deciding where we would source our work based on the distribution location. Back in the day, we found ourselves regularly trekking to Lincoln Road in Flatbush to pick up from Kasim and Nujat. These brothers who had drifted onto Troy around 84 had relocated to this neighborhood by 89. Danger, ever the vigilant strategist, was always on the lookout for new opportunities to seize. In the early days, Kasim and Nujat would just drop off a half an ounce. A half would go for $400. They would return 450 to Danger. A solid business, at least for a while. However, the pair struggled to progress beyond even maintain a whole ounce. An ounce or OZ generally held 30 to 28 grams of crack cocaine. Interestingly, they fared better with 8 balls. The smaller the quantity, the higher return seemed to be with danger. To be for danger. One key challenge was the competition on the same block. Others were cut, were out. They're slinging crack too. Despite the contenders, our product always stood out, superior in quality. Could this have been due to our plug, Danger's plug, to be precise? Gary never served his guys subpar product. He always ensured they got nothing but the best. Two P's, guys. That was the Wild Wild West. Let me try to show y'all the artwork because the artwork is incredible, man. Stay tuned, man. Gara Gayn, we're gonna be having a gallery showing of the artwork from the book. St. John Newman Kids, Age of the Kraken. Let me see if I can get this so you can show the artwork. Hold on 1 second. Let me dim the lights for y'all guys. I don't know if y'all can see it because it always keeps flipping. Every time I go to change it, it flips. I don't know if I can hold it. Ah, trying to hold it for you guys. But see, that's the artwork, man. See the stagecoach? It keep flipping, yo. It won't stay still. Hold on. Let me see if I can hold it. See the stagecoach? Ah, the stagecoach. You see Indian on the stagecoach, and you see MOP with the 18 van, and you see us all in the buildings. We all shooting different groups of people. You know what I mean? See T Light in his window shooting down. You see Poison on the roof. See Danger on the stagecoach, Indian on the horse shooting. You know what I mean? This is the Wild Wild West, man. This is chapter 3. We just finished reading. See, guys, it was it was a unique situation, man. What G Life and them was going through as children. You see all the hectic drama they was going through. I mean, this kid just came home from DFY. Soon as he came home, he coming home to the Wild Wild West to a vicious gunfight, which could have took anybody's life at any moment. But see, that was the way of St. John, man. Like when we go back to St. John, Noob and the kids, the age of the Noob, St. John Polo Posse, G Light, or rather, G Light had told y'all that going when like on the first week of school, come from 390, he saw the Yachty man them, the Jamaican man them, getting to shoot up with police. And one of the Jamaicans got shot in the head and died right in front of G Light. And G Light wanted to take the gun from the guy. Cause the guy gun slid over in the corner. Not in the corner, but slid in the gutter on the sidewalk. You know, on the sidewalk, but in the gutter of the streets where the water runs, where the car parked on the curb. Yo, and then you had to drag him from over there. Come here, man. Leave that gun alone, man. But this is the point, man, I'm trying to explain to you. In St. John, it was so hectic. The crack era had our neighborhood so we were so desensitized to crime and violence. We became demons ourselves, lurking in the streets for prey and power. And this is what you're reading about. But at the same token, there was a sense of sincerity in their hearts because love was in the air. Light was in love. Danger was in love. Indian was in love. So then there was a sense of civilization there. But the not the thought, but the mode of survival kicked in so hard, man, that they had to take care of themselves. They had to defend themselves. And they had to become pharmaceuticals themselves. So he went from shoplifting to become a pharmacist. That just show you that they didn't want to give up, man. They was not giving up, man. And you know, we had Goatee Born. A lot of y'all probably know Goatee Born and Briefhead. These were notorious individuals from crimes in St. John. Vonda, aka Bird, True, Frankie. These people were notorious. And these were older men now. These were grown men, not little kids. Matarankins, serious sadists. We talking about some sadists. Man, them terrorists in them age then. Know what I mean? He had his own club called High Room, I think, which became the Hunt later. And they owned that club. This is what I was telling you about last time I was explaining to you, yo. Mata Rankins, he was able to teach G Light so much over the G Money now. Look at this also too, man. We gotta take note of this, man. Lloyd, this young kid, as he was developed in his maturity, people was changing his name for him. It's not like he wanted to change his name. It was the groups that he was with as he matured that changed his names. Like girls calling him G Light. Him becoming God Body, having the name Young God, Everlasting Love of Allah. These were things that were appointed upon him. You see, when you are ordained, it's a different story. For then those who just want to step up and do something and claim something. There's a difference between those who step up from those who are ordained for things to come. This is what we're talking about when we're talking about the new building kids. When we're talking about St. John, we're talking about an age of revelation, an age of enlightenment. But can you grasp that enlightenment? I'm sorry if you can't, but I'm here to let you know that we grasp that enlightenment and we're not letting go. So these are our testaments. These are our holy books. Like, like these are our Torahs, our Nabaveen, our Kataveen, our New Testaments, the Injil, our Qurans, what we're reading to you today, our history. So I hope you enjoy our journey, man. Next week we get to chapter 4. Wow, chapter 4 already, man. I love you guys for being here with us, and I hope you enjoy the story with us. Hope you enjoy my commentary. And you know, let's get busy, man. Let's understand the story of G Light, man. And oh yeah, here's the back of the book. You can see when G Light was younger, man. Know what I mean? When he had his 420 bins. Know what I mean? You see those are 19s actually. He had the Marine Rolleon, in front of St. John, in front of his building, 1288. You know what I mean? Navy blue, 420, S class. You know what I mean? Look at Pupa Danger, the Indian them, vibes carrier, Indian up so, on sitting on his Acura. I mean, it's a St. John, man. This is all on St. John. Check it out, man. St. John New Building Kid, The Age of the Kraken, man. It's on Amazon. Check it out. Support, man. The book is on Amazon. If you have Amazon, if you have Kindle Unlimited, you can read the book for free and see the artwork too. If you'd like to order some of the artwork, let us know. Give us a DM, leave us a message, man. And we hit you up with the artwork. You can make a purchase of the artwork and you can hang it up in your room and be able to understand our graffiti, our Basquiat moments. That's our Basquiat moments. Know what I mean? But yeah, man, we about it, man. Every Monday at 9, we on Fight Club International P. After that, between 9:30 and 10, comes on Cookie Roller Fashion with Gara Gayn. Then on Tuesday, we do Trendy Tuesday with International P. And we allow artists, man, from every scope, every corner of the planet Earth, play their music, play their videos, play their beats. If you're a beat maker, and our guest DJ, our guest beat maker, engineer is Saquon the Beats. He just laid down some ill beats today. And then after that, between 9:30 and 10 is Cookie Roller Fashion. And then I'm with you, man, again, doing a helpful read, man. So, man, I close today, man. I see y'all next week and hope y'all enjoy this read, man. And I enjoyed y'all, man. Yo, this is work. This is work, man. That's how we work, man. And it's what we do, man. And y'all enjoy. This is Gara Gayn. I'm here with you, and I hope you enjoyed the story. Know what I mean? And you also get to hear some of the characters from the book, man. All the characters in the book, they make up the clothes that we have at El Gargain, which is the Cookie Monsters, which is our big cookie. You know what I mean? These books inspire our designs and our clothes. Yeah, man. So this is how you imprint when you talk about culture. If you're singing for the culture, you're not telling me that you want me hurt, you want me dead, or you're not reporting news of someone hurting someone else. Your goal is, when you're trying to do culture, is try to create a medium of space where there could be opportunities for commerce and economics. And what I mean by commercial economics, I mean by doing trade, barter, trade, exchange, barter, trade, exchange. It's like a stock exchange. You have stock, let's exchange it. Find a medium of exchange. That's how we make currency. If there is no medium for that or no resolution for that, then you need to separate yourself from those type of environments and build a better situation for yourself to bridge that gap and get with people that's making lucrative actions or transactions to improve your environment, improve you, improve yourself. You can improve your family, so you can have some bread, so you can be able to bring bread to the table when you go home. If you can't go home with a shopping bag, a grocery bag of healthy sustenance, then you're wasting your time. We implore everybody for health benefits to practice Ramadan every year. We also implore you to practice the Ramadan with the Nation of Islam in December. We implore you to practice the fast with Zodin from October 29th to January 1st. We implore these things because your health comes first. With your health, I know you can pick up a hammer or a mallet and strike the nail into the coffin of ignorance and deceit. Yo, man, this is El Gargain. I'm with you guys again, man. We just did a delightful read, and pardon me for my errors, my errors, my stumble, my stammer. I'm still working. I'm working this thing out here, man. So get in this whip with me. Let's make the better for it, and I get better. And as I get better, you get better, and I can bring some more work. You got it? All right, I'm out, man. It's El Gargain. I see y'all for the next chapter, man. Peace, two peace to my pose, man. We out. Peace.